Hello and welcome to the Next in Enterprise series, looking at the visual effects of shields in Star Trek Online. In this video we are looking at the NX class, so most famously the Enterprise NX-01 and of course their sister ship the Columbia NX-02 in Star Trek Enterprise. So we'll follow the usual format for the video. We'll look at the shield visuals on the NX class itself. There'll be the Vanity Shields from the Reputation at Tier 6, the shields available in the Phoenix store during special events in the year, the one available from the Zen store, and then the ones available from the summer and winter event stores. Then we'll also look at the shields that you equip on your ship that can also be slotted into the visual slot just to give the visual of the shield itself. So the first section is the Tier 6 Reputation Vanity Shields. So once you get Reputation up to Tier 6, you can purchase a Vanity Shield. Now the Vanity Shields can only be slotted in the visual slot on your ship. They cannot be slotted in the shield on your ship. So the first one we shall have a look at is the 8472 Vanity Shield. So I shall zoom in a bit here on the NX class. So the first thing to note is on the NX and the NX refit, the Bizarre Collectors do not change because they have this animation in them, so they will remain red no matter what shield visual we put on. And the Columbia, which is the TMP era look of the ship, doesn't have Bizarre Collector light up on the standard nacelle. So we can see the green effect straight away on the deflector, and we see some of the green lines here on the main saucer. Looking from the back, we can see the green on the impulse engines. Again, some more of that green lighting there. Side on, we've got some of the ridge pattern on the centre of the nacelle with the green colouring. The ridge pattern here on the pylons and on the hull itself. Then we can look at the top. Now I was thinking about just hitting the top button to view it, but it does obscure quite a bit of the saucer, so we shall rotate through on this one, especially since we're zoomed in nice and close. So again, there's more of the green lighting effect around here and more of the ridge effect, and then the dark grey and the lighter grey colouring effect on the hull, and same again on the underside. Next up is the Competitive Wargames Vanity Shield. So again, we'll zoom in. Again, we're seeing the yellow on the deflector on this shield. We can see some of the yellow lighting effects here on the underside of the saucer. That cyan blue there on the impulse engines. Again, some more of the yellow and the yellow lighting showing at the back here. Side on, we've got the normal blue on the warp nacelles. Some more yellow lighting, and you're starting to see some of these little yellow reflected panels. Also, the bigger the ships, the more panels we see on the side views. And as we look down the top, you've got the yellow lighting, and then more of these reflective panels. Not as many as we've seen on other ships we've looked at so far. Again, this is quite a small ship in comparison. But as we rotate through again, you're seeing all the reflection on those panellings, and there is more present on the underside, and then you've got the yellow on the shuttle pod doors. Then we come to the Delta Alliance Vanity Shield. So this is the green one, so big green deflector array at the front there, a lot of green lighting being seen straight away. Again, green on the impulse engines there, and some more green lighting effects. Now we've got the green on the nacelles, we've got this teal colour stripe on the pylon. You see the green band there on the nacelles as well behind the Bizarre Collectors. And as we look top down, again, more green lighting effects. We've got the green on top of the bridge, and we've got some more green here on either side, and there's that teal stripe following the shape of the pylons and the struts there. And go through the underside. Again, that steel stripe there. Got white there on the shuttle pod doors, and just some more of the green being seen. Now we'll take a quick look at the Discovery Legends Vanity Shield, because this is just the oily effect on the hull. That's all it really applies to the ship. So you can see it there covering the full model of the ship. It retains the base hull materials, this KCNX class. Underneath, so that's your deflector, your impulse, your warp nacelles and so forth, standard colourings, and it always does put this oily effect to the ship. Now we're looking at the Dyson Joint Command Vanity Shield. So we've got this pink carving into the hull effect going on, this grey purple hull material, standard colour for the impulse engines, and same for the warp nacelles. A wee bit of gold there around the nacelle itself, but in profile we can see more of that pink carving pattern. And then when we rotate onto the top here, a little bit of shine off it, so there we have it there. It looks like, I don't know if it's deliberate or if it's just been missed, but certain patches aren't showing the same as the rest of the ship there. Same again there on the underside. And then we do have this pink stripe coming from nacelle to nacelle there. And straight out of the wormhole we have the Gamma Vanity Shield, so the metallic purple one. You see straight off there we've got the purple deflector array, but this dark banded purple around the edge of the saucer with the metallic purple top and bottom there, and purple across the impulse engines, and you see some of the dark purple lines down the pylons for the nacelles, and purple there for the nacelle itself with a mixture of the metallic and the dark purple, and there's more of that dark purple band showing on the side view there. As we rotate through we get that lovely shine, it makes the purple almost blue as well. Very nice effect there. Go on to the underside, we've even got the dark purple there on the shuttle pod bay doors, and the cargo bay doors there with the light effect, and a bit purple there to the light on the underside. Now we'll have a look at the Iconian Resistance Vanity Shield. So we've got a mixture of the pale greens, the hull material and the pink deflector here, and some of this pinkish purple design that we'll see a bit more of when we have a look at the top down. We've got pink and white there in the impulse engines, there's that pale green colouring you can see with bands of the very light purple or almost pink, and a little bit of an effect there on the back of the nacelles as well. And the nacelles themselves look white. You see some of that pattern effect coming through there, and same down here on the pylons and on the width of the body. And then let's rotate through and have a look for the top down and get a better view. There's your normal hull material there, and there's the pale green pattern effect with this purpley pink pattern woven into it, and then we've got this nice pattern following the seam from nacelle to nacelle as well. And underside we've just got more of the green pattern with the pinky purple, and almost like a cog shape here in the centre, and then you've got the colouring in of the shuttle pod bay doors. Now we come to the Lukari Restoration Initiative Vanity Shield. So this is designed to give your ship that Lukari vessel look from Star Trek Online. So it's a very bright shield, a lot of lighting effects seen, a spectrum of colours as well along the rim of the saucer there. We've got this pink and purple deflector array, this greeny colour to the hull material, so quite a lot going on here. We've got a spectrum of colour for your impulse engines. Again, you've got the lighting effect around the housing for them there, same on the pylons. This vibrant pink here on your nacelles, this reddish band around them, same at the rear. And there's that seam of light going down the pylon. As we rotate through, we get that shine off of it. And get this orangey red here on the dome of the bridge, lighting effects around it, same here at the rear. And then we've got this seam that's almost getting wrapped around the rear impulse engine housing there. So that's the struts, not the impulse engines, they're up here. Yeah, maybe right actually. And then on the underside, just more of this green colouring effect with some lighting coming round the edge of the saucer there. Next up, it's the new Romulus Reman Vanity Shield. So this is your metallic greens, browns, reds. So we see here the green in the deflector array. We've got a bit of red piping here with the darker and lighter green banding on the saucer. And we've got the green on the impulse engines. Again, some lighting effects up the pylons. This reflective pattern here in the rear of the nacelles. Now we've got green with this panelling effect, light panelling effect here in the middle, and then at the edge of the nacelles as well. Same on parts of the body. As we rotate through the light, we're going to get that lovely metallic green glow of the ship. Again, more of this light panelling effect around the bridge module area. Again on the back here, in the pylons, and we've got a bit of a green line following pylon to pylon. Underside it's more of the darker greens and reds and browns that are showing. It's time to make your ship look like a Tholian vessel with the Nukara Strikeforce Vanity Shield. So we've got a very vibrant and bright deflector array there at the front. Look at the back, we've got the yellow in the impulse engines. And a bit of view of the hull material, it's almost a stone-like effect to the hull material. You've got your yellow for your nacelles. On other ships that we've seen, the Bajor collectors actually the cyan blue effect, but obviously because of this animation these don't change. As we rotate through the light, we get a nice little shine off the material. See more of the pattern effect as well along here. Just with this, and see it's almost like a stone-like carving effect to the hull. And same again there on the underside. Now we come to the Omega Force Vanity Shield. So we see a bit of a pattern going round the rim of the saucer here. Got a bit of pattern effect to the deflector array with this blue dot in the centre. Then we can see some blue trim appearing at the back here, same on the pylon, same at the back of the nacelles. And with the blue banding on the nacelle, and we come to this blue checkered pattern. Let me see. And look top down, see more of that blue checkered pattern around the bridge module, around certain points of the hull. Same on the nacelles and the pylons. And it's the same again there on the underside. Now we come to the Temporal Defence Initiative Vanity Shield. It makes you feel like you're on a trip. I've got a yellow deflector with these yellow, greens and reds at the back of it there. We've got some piping lighting effects around the rim, a bit of a spectrum of colour there as well on the saucer. We get the back with this vibrant pink impulse engines, more of this lighting effect following seams of the ship. We see a bit there on the underside of the nacelles as well. Then we're yellow in the nacelles, got a blue band. We've got some of these areas here that will change colour as we rotate through, and then some leathery effect patches as well. And you see more of the light banding as you look at the ship, as well as this leathery effect pattern appearing as well. As we rotate through, you can see those patches and panels changing colour in the light, and you've got more of that lighting effect and that leathery pattern that we're seeing. As I rotate back through again, light constantly changing, and that is there on the pylons as we rotate through, again on the underside as we rotate through the light, and just more of the lighting pattern we see here, and more of the leathery material effects on it as well. And last but not least, it's the Terran Task Force Vanity Shield. So we have a yellow lit up deflector array here with the blue at the back of it. A bit of pattern work here going on the rim of the saucer. At the back we've got these nice bright blue impulse engines, a lot of blue lighting lines seen here, back of the ship, same in the pylons. And we've got this yellow effect here at the rear of the nacelles. The yellow band at the front of the nacelles there is all lit up as well. We've got the blue, or almost a cyan colour there on the nacelles, and more of that banding as we can see side on. And we'll rotate through it. A bit of a dark hull material to it, and a bit darker in other areas, and more of this yellow lighting effect. The circles here on the bridge module, at the side here, at the rear as well. And then we can look at the underside, so more of this blue lighting and circling lines. Same, it's following pretty much the line of the struts and the pylons between the nacelles. Now we move on to the next section, and we'll look at the Vanity Shields available in the summer and winter event stores. So these are available all year round, presuming of course that you have all the consumables required collected during the events. So in the summer event store is the baseball Vanity Shield series, and the winter event has one Vanity Shield in it at the time of this recording, and that is the first one we shall look at, and that is the Fek'lhri Vanity Shield. So we have the angry red looking deflector array, and then we switch to the rear. We've got the yellow there on the impulse engines. We can see this red material look to the back of the nacelles there. Then we've got the red nacelles themselves with a bit of dark blue mixed in, more of this red material pattern showing on the pylons, the rear of the ship, and at other points on the ship itself. And as we rotate through, you can see that shine coming off the red patches as we rotate through. And you can see in the dark grey hull material, there's also this mixing like a rusty red pattern on it as well. The ship is designed to be looked as if it is being flown by the damned. And on the side, more of this red pattern showing through it, and same in the pylons across the struts and back up to the other nacelle there. So the first of the baseball Vanity Shield series from the summer store is the Andorian blue bores. So as you can see here, we've got the orange at the deflector array. You can see the blue there on the hull. That's the two primary colours of this shield. At the rear we've got the orange there for the impulse engines. You see some of the orange and blue colouring looking at the back of the ship there. See on the back of the nacelles here. Then we've got the orange down the nacelle itself with the blue casing. Then we see a bit of a pattern work here, which is orange and blue striping on these patch areas here on the pylons. As we rotate through, you get that nice orange shine as we go through the light source. And there's the pattern there of the orange on the hull and the blue, and we've got an orange circle going around the outside of the saucer. And then same on the underside, more of the mixture of the orange and blue pattern there. Next up we're looking at the Bozeman Titans. So this is a grey and yellow Vanity Shield. So you can see here yellow on the deflector with the grey eclipse going around it. You've got the yellow there banding around the saucer. And yellow there on the impulse engines. See some of the yellow banding there on the hull. Same at the back here of the nacelles, there's almost a bee or a wasp like pattern there with the black and gold rings around the end of the nacelles. And we've got the yellow on the nacelle itself, more of the yellow and black striping effects on the pattern there, and more of the yellow stripes on the grey. And as we rotate through, we'll get a lovely yellow metallic shine off of the shield. And there's more of that black and yellow striping effect there, and more of the pattern mixing the grey, dark grey and the yellow on the hull. Next up is the Caitian Claws Vanity Shield. So this is the purple and gold. So here we have the yellow and gold there on the deflector. Yellow there on the impulse engines, this goldy colour here on the end of the nacelles. Back with the striping there with the purple and gold. Yellow on the nacelles itself, and then back to that purple and gold striping there. Now the baseball Vanity Shields follow the same pattern, and the only thing it seems to be changing is the colour scheme depending on the shield. Nice bit of reflection there as we rotate through the light source. And the same patterns as we've seen on the previous shield, just in the purple and gold. Next up is the Deep Space Niners. So this is based off the uniforms in the Season 7 episode of Deep Space Nine, dating out to the holosuite. So this one's a mixture of whites, blues and reds and oranges. So we've got a red and orange deflector array there. We've got the orange banding broken up with the white on the edge of the saucer. And look at the rear here, we've got the orange and red on the impulse. We've got the blue tip on the nacelles with a blue and white stripe on the end of the nacelle there. Then we're red and blue, or almost orange and blue there, going through the nacelle. And then we've got some different pattern there just because of the tricolour on this shield. Get a nice shine off of that again. It's the love it or hate it Vanity Shield of the Denebian Slime Devils, so it's the green and purple. Again, we've got the green there on the deflector array with a green band round the saucer there. Surprisingly, we've got the green on the impulse engines, predominantly purple there on the hull, and again this banding of purple and green with the green shading at the back of the nacelle there. Then we've got the green down the nacelle itself, purple with some green bands on it there on the nacelle housing, then the banding of the green and purple there, and more green striping on it as well. Let's rotate through, nice metallic shine off of it, and again we're in the same pattern effect as the other baseball Vanity Shield so far, and there it is there from the underside. Next up we look at the Ferenginar Liquidators. So this is a yellow, gold and green Vanity Shield, so again same pattern effects on the saucer there, yellow up there on the deflector array, we've got yellow in the impulse engines, same colour bandings at the back here on the nacelle, then yellow for the nacelle itself, green for the housing with the gold bands going around it, same with the patch effects here and on other parts of the hull. Rotate through, get another nice metallic shine off of it. This is the one of the baseball shields I actually do use, and I use it on the recent Aegis free ship that we got in the winter of 2024. Next up we're looking at the stem bolts Vanity Shield. So this is a mixture of light and dark pink with grey and white as well. So there we have the white deflector array with the grey eclipse going around it there, and then the dark pink on the band of the saucer. Again that white there on the impulse engines, again same banding effect here on the back of the nacelles. There's the white on the nacelles themselves with a mixture of dark and light pink, some of the pink banding as well. And then we've got the same patch works as we've seen on the other ones, just using the colours of the shield itself. And as we rotate through it, we get this lovely metallic pink shine to it. And we come to the Vulcan Logicians Vanity Shield. So this one's a mixture of purples, greys and golds, so it's based off of their uniform in that 7th season Deep Space Nine episode Take Me Out to the Hull Suite. With the gold band around the saucer, with the purple in the deflector array there, purple in the engines with a gold trim to the impulse housing itself, and with the grey and purple stripe lines going round the nacelle, with the purple in the back, purple in the nacelle with grey with some bands of purple as well going around it, and gold coming down the pylon there, and then that patch of purple and grey pattern as well. Rotate through, we get a purpley blue shine to it. You see more there of the gold trim around the edges and around the bridge module itself, and then the gold line going between the two nacelles, as we'll see again there on the underside. Then we come to the last of the baseball Vanity Shields, and this is the Workbees. This is a mixture of reds, browns and bronzy golds. And same circular line patterns there on the nacelle, got the yellow there for the impulse engines with this goldy bronze trim going around it, and the reddish brown infill. yellow coming down here on the nacelle itself, and you see the different shadings there between the bronze and the reddish brown. And same here with the patch pattern here, we've got the lines of the bronze and the goldish colour. So rotate through, we get this lovely reddish shine to it. Red areas do reflect quite well in the light as well as we go through, with an interesting pattern to them. So the next section we look at shields available in the Phoenix store during special events during the year, and as of the time of recording we have one Vanity Shield in the Zen store, and that will be the first one that we look at. So this is the Alliance Vanity Shield as part of the Khitomer Alliance bundle, where you get the shield, uniforms and a tech upgrade in the Zen store or C store. And see here we've got a orangey red effect here to the impulse engines, with this goldy effect here on the back of the nacelles. This cyan blue on the nacelle as well, with the gold patching coming down, and this slightly off-white hull material with this red piping on it. Now look top down, we've got some of that nice dark grey material around the outer part of the saucer, and with some of the gold coming through, dark grey pattern in the middle, and this gold with the red piping around the bridge. Then on the underside, same again, similar patterns, and then you see the Shutterpod bay doors that are in the dark grey as well. And we come to one of the more popular shields in the game, the M.A.C.O Vanity Shield from the Phoenix store. This is quite a very dark grey hull material, and we've got this cyan effect here on the deflector. This lovely deep red effect here on the impulse engines. And with that cyan almost teal colour there to the nacelles. I say because this effect here on the Bajor collectors, they would be the similar colour on most ships, but on this one, because this effect here retains the red ones. As we rotate through, you get a nice shine off of the hull, the shield itself, and then you look at the hull material and see some of these design markings in it. So it's designed to give your ship the look of a M.A.C.O vessel. And I've said before, when I got the M.A.C.O Sentry, I stuck another Vanity Shield on it to change it, ironically. Whereas this is probably one of the shields I use the most in the game, as it suits quite a lot of different ships. So this is the Borg Vanity Shield, again from the Phoenix store. So this is the one that has caused some confusion or controversy, as it's not the Assimilated Borg, as a lot of folk were expecting. This is the Liberated Borg. They probably should actually change the name of the shield, to be honest. So this gives you the blue effect of the Liberated Borg as seen in the TNG two-part episode Descent. It's also got this hull plating effect to the hull material, so it's not a smooth, it's very clunky looking. Blue there on the impulse engines. We see a bit of this lighting effect here on the back of the nacelles. That's supposed to be exposed conduits and circuitry without hull plating. See a bit more on the patches here and here, and then you've got the blue lighting effect here as well, and a bit there on the nacelle itself with the blue for the colour of that. So look at the top down, you can see that exposed conduit and circuitry look around the bridge module. And then we rotate through to the underside. Again, a bit more of these exposed areas on the hull, with the blue and yellowy gold lighting effects, and same on the underside of the pylons and at the back here with the impulse engines. So next up on the list is the Discovery Vanity Shield, again Phoenix Store. So this is designed to give your ship the look of the starships from season 1 of the show Star Trek Discovery. So we've got a very white looking Fek'lhri with some blue pattern there. There's honeycomb red on the impulse engines, and we've got a mixture of white and dark grey for the hull material. I've got the blue there for the warp nacelles there. And some more bits of blue and white pattern round about the bridge area and on the sides here, and a little bit there at the aft. And there's also that band on the nacelles themselves. And here we have the Emperor's Vanity Shield from the Phoenix Store. So again, quite a smooth hull material appearance in this one, and we've got this orange effect here to the deflector array, cyan blue there on the impulse engines, and we've got yellow going down in the cells, and there's some deep purple there on the end of the cells, same on these bits of patching here on the pylons, and you can just make out some of the blue dot lighting throughout the material on the hull as well. Again, more of that dark purple, and you can make out some more of that blue dot lighting a bit better from this angle, and it goes right throughout the material. I see a bit better there in the shade under the saucer. And here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield, so it's designed to give your ship the look of the ships from the reboot films. So we've got this almost cyan blue here on the deflector, this orange effect here for your impulse engines, then almost white on the nacelles itself. Now this is one of the ship models I'm thankful it doesn't change the Bajor characters, because as we've seen on several other ships, the Bajor effect on this shield is absolutely dreadful. And as this is a Federation character, this is the Federation version of the shield. If you were to apply this on a KDF character, you do get a totally different shield colours and effects. And as I've said before, I do wish they would just split the shields in two and give you a Federation and a Klingon Kelvin shield, so you could pick one or the other no matter your faction. And the last shield that I have from the Phoenix Store is the Section 31. Again, dark grey, smooth appearance to the hull. Got this lovely pattern here on the deflector array in the blue. This lovely red honeycomb effect here on the impulse engines. And got this bright blue effect here for the nacelles. Again, on other ships, this shield blacks out the Bajor characters, but not in this one because of this animation. And a slightly different shading on this pattern of the ship. And same again there on the underside. And now we come to our last selection of shields. So these are shields in the game that you apply as a shield on your ship, or you can apply it purely as a visual on your ship using the visual slots. So the first up we have is the Lukari Restoration Initiative Regenerative Shield. So this one here is from the Lukari reputation. So it's designed to give your vessel that Lukari look from the missions in Star Trek Online. So a very bright banding there around the saucer, very bright blue deflector array there. We have this spectrum of colour and impulse and this lighting effect going around the impulse engine housing. And this yellowy gold effect here at the back of the nacelles. And this very bright blue on the nacelle itself with this gold banding here as well. And there's some more of that lighting effect going around the seam of the ship here. As we rotate through, we get that blue shine going over the material. Same on the underside, and more of this lighting effect around certain parts of the ship. Here we have the adapted M.A.C.O Covariant shield from the Omega reputation. So you see this pulsating effect here on the deflector. On the back with the cyan blue there on the impulse engines. Got this honeycomb pattern effect here at the end of the nacelle there. And again you see more of that honeycomb effect going along the nacelle. More so here on the patches of the pylons, on the impulse engines, various stripes of it along the hull. As we rotate through, we get that blue shine going over the honeycomb pattern. A yellow dome there for the bridge module. As we rotate back through, you see that shine again. See that honeycomb pattern better in the shaded areas underneath the saucer, but then as we rotate through into the light, you see I'm getting that blue effect to it. So here we have the Aegis Covariant Shield. This one is crafted through the R&D. This lovely mixture of the white into the gold effect there on the deflector array. You got this little band of lighting going on here on the front of the saucer. From the rear you see more of that lighting going around the impulse engines there. Again down the pylons here. And then there's that light going down the pylon. You've got the white there of the nacelles. This lighting banding here at the front of the nacelle, and there's more of that banding on the saucer. As we rotate through, again more of this white banding effect here, either side of the bridge area, and you've got that light coming down the pylon, the struts, and then back up to the other nacelle. Now look at the underside. Same again, and then you've even got the shutter pod bay doors having that lighting effect on them as well. Now we come to the Assimilated Regenerative Shield. So this is from the Omega reputation, and this is the one that makes your ship look like you have been assimilated. Now on the Constitution refit video I did, I also did a little segment showing if you apply the deflector, the impulse, the shield and the assimilated module from the Omega reputation, you do get a lot more of the Borg aesthetics around your impulse engines, around your deflector array and around parts of your hull, so it does give that more assimilated look. So with this green deflector array here, you can see some of the exposed areas where the hull platings came off during simulation. White into a yellowy green there on the impulse engines. This very light green effect here to your nacelles, and there's some more of that exposed areas underneath the hull plates, and there again on the front of the nacelles themselves. And then if we look top down, we'll get to see a lot more of that detail, so it looks like the Borg hull material of their ships. This green glow effect. So this is a bit of an older shield. Again, hopefully they'll revamp it or do another one that gives the proper green glow of a Borg ship to these exposed areas. Again, the underside, more of the same, just random bits showing that the hull plating's been removed and the ship has been assimilated. So next up is the Bajor Defense Covariant Shield. So this is a mission reward. We've got a darkened out deflector array here at the front. Got yellow there on the impulse engines. A bit of this pastel red effect here at the rear of the nacelle. This vibrant blue cyan colour for your nacelles. This bit of a pastel red banding there at the front, and then patches down the pylons and at various points on the hull itself. This is designed to give your ship the Bajoran ship look, not that we've seen much of them in Deep Space Nine, surprisingly enough. We've got this pattern effect here to make it look like raised sections of the hull with these grooves, and then more of that pastel red, almost rose colour effect there. It's the same again there on the underside. Here we have the Counter Command Covariant Shield from the 8472 reputation. So we've got this green and then a bluey green on the inner part of the deflector. It's bluey green with a light green band going around the saucer. Got green there on the impulse engines, and we've got this bluey green on the nacelles there. And we've got the green for the colour of the nacelles, and then we've got this ridge pattern showing at various points on the hull, and there's more of that green light piping going along the edge of the saucer there. As we come through, you see that's blue green's almost quite metallic reflection of it as we rotate through the light there. More of the ridge pattern and the green lighting piping going around the bridge module and then round the outer part of the saucer and at various parts on the pattern on the hull. And there's more of that ridge pattern at the back there. And same again as we rotate through to the underside. Here we have the Delta Alliance Unimatrix shield from the Delta Alliance reputation. And that's a bit of an older shield, as you can tell by the effect there on the deflector not being quite as crisp and clear as it has been on some of the newer shields. So this is a green, grey and gold Vanity Shield. And we have the same effect there on the green for the impulse engines. Got green on the nacelles. There's some of that gold piping coming down the line there on the pylon, and a bit of the green lighting effect there as well. Come through, you can see that gold line just reflecting there in the light quite nicely between the two nacelles. More of the green lighting effects here on top of the saucer. And same again there for both the gold line and the green on the hull. And here we have the Dyson Regenerative shield from the Dyson reputation. So quite a bit lighter than its Vanity Shield counterpart. We've still got this pinkish colour on the grooves that appear to be carved into the hull. Just a normal gold deflector array there for the NX class. Same with the blue for the impulse engines. You make out some of that pattern there on the underside of the nacelles. With that pinky purple line coming down the nacelle, and then more of that pattern lighting effect there. So look at the top there, you can see that pattern on the hull, and that line again falling from the cell across to the other nacelle. With that bronzy grey colour there, the material and the bridge area, and again that pattern of the pinky purple on the underside of the hull there. Next up is the Iconian Resistance Resilient Shield. So this is a darker hull material and red pattern as opposed to the Vanity Shield, which was the pale green and the pink. Now we've got this nice bright looking deflector array there with the red at the back of it. And this red and yellow effect here on the impulse engines. You see some of that shading and pattern coming in here on the end of the nacelles. There's a white looking colour to the nacelle itself. And there's that red pattern effect and these rounded rectangle effect coming down the nacelle. And with that effect going around the edge of the saucer. And a nice metallic reflection of the pattern on the hull there. See it around here at the edge of the saucer. Same again at the bridge module, and there's those rounded rectangles following that line from nacelle to nacelle. And more of that nice metallic reflection there as we rotate through the underside, and we've almost got like a cog effect there on the underside of the saucer, and a bit of a lighter effect there for the shutter pod bay doors. Now we're looking at the Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shield from the Nukara rep. So we've got this very bright deflector array here at the front, this pattern effect around the saucer, yellow there on the impulse engines, a bit of a different shading here at the back of the nacelles. Then you've got yellow for the main nacelle colour itself with this orange banding at the front there, and then you can see this pattern effect here on the hull material, almost stone-like carvings. So very, very similar to the Vanity Shield equivalent from the Nukara rep. There's more of that pattern effect there, and same again there on the underside. Now we come to the M.A.C.O shield from the Omega rep. We've got this wavy line pattern here to the deflector. Normal blue there on the impulse. This goldy colour here at the back of the nacelles. Now we have this check pattern again, except this time it is gold or yellow compared to the blue on the Vanity Shield. And there's gold bands here at the front of the nacelles as well. So rotate through, and this goldy colour here on the bridge module, and the sides of the ship here, and then more of that check pattern, a bit more of the hull material pattern here at the edges of the saucer. And similar again, and then you've got this goldy effect here on the shutter pod bay doors. Now we come to the prevailing innervated resilient shield from the competitive Wargames rep. So we've got a nice vibrant blue deflector there. You can see some blue lighting effects here on the underside of the saucer. Again, some more of the blue lighting being seen here. Blue in the cells with some blue lighting underneath, matching up with the hull pattern material. Just make out some of the reflective panelling there. So on the Vanity Shield it was yellow for the reflective panelling. On this one it is blue. Out of the two I do prefer this one. Colour wise, And you see that lit up blue banding there at the front of the nacelles, and then more of that blue lighting, and then round the inner part of the war saucer section, and then the blue lighting there on the shuttle-pod bay doors, and more of this reflective panelling around the inner edges of the saucer. And here we have the Romulan Advanced Prototype Shield from the new Romulus Reputation. So we see a lot of green lighting following the pattern of the hull here. That is the predominant effect on the shield. Around the impulse engines there, around the nacelles, and you'll start to see some of this green shading pattern as well. See a better look at that in the side view. So there's some of that green shading there, outlined with the green lighting effect. Same down the pylon there, and you see it on the side view of the ship. Rotate up, we'll get a better view of that green shading pattern in certain parts of the hull, along with the green outline lighting effect that it has, and there's that green lighting line going from nacelle to nacelle. And same again on the underside there. And we're back to the multicoloured spectrum of colours of the Temporal Defence Initiative Regenerative Shield from the Temporal Defence Reputation. So you can see here with the mixtures of the blues and purples and oranges there around the blue deflector array. Got this band of colour here that changes with the lighting around the saucer, and then some of the lighting effects. And same on the back here, more mixture of colours, this leathery effect going on at the end of the nacelles. And we've got the band of colour there at the front of the nacelle, the blue there, and then these panels here that do change as we rotate through the light, and this leathery effect as well. And this is a slightly lighter version of the shield compared to the Vanity one, and rather than having the yellow pipe lighting, we have this pink one here on this one. And as we start to rotate through, you'll see the bands of colour there starting to change. Same with the patch panels as well, what we see. Then that main line between the two nacelles, that changes quite nicely as well. Same again there on the underside, so rotate through, and there's a lot of this pinky purpley lighting effect going on, and same with this multicolour spectrum of colours here on the shuttle-pod bay doors, and there's that leathery effect that I was referring to earlier on. Here we have the Terran Task Force Covariant Shield from the Terran Reputation. So quite a bit different compared to the Vanity Shields. It's a lot darker. We've got this purple effect here on the deflector array with this yellowy goldy colour at the back of it. The yellow there in the impulse engines. We've got this purpley blue effect here at the back of the nacelles. Same there with the banding at the front there. The yellow in the nacelles itself with some of this yellow pipe lighting. And then some of the darker grey and slightly lighter grey areas on the material itself. And you see the red banding as well on the hull. And there's more of that bluey purpley colour on the bridge there, around the aft here, and it points on the side as well. And you see it at the back of the deflector array as well there. And you've got the red piping going round the outer part of the saucer and then across the back of it. And similar again on the underside there, more of this yellow lighting effect and these red circles on the contours of the saucer, and a wee bit of the yellow lighting there at the shuttle-pod bay doors. This is Tilly's review pending modify shield from the Discovery Rep. this is probably one of the best shields in the game to use on your ship. Unfortunately, it's not got the best of visuals on it. This is back to the oily effect covering your ship. So your base material stays the same, which gives you the same effect on your deflector, impulse and nacelles, and all we're really seeing is this oily effect covering the ship. I'm not quite sure what that's got to do with Discovery, but this is the effect that they chose for these shields. This is the Dielectric Oscillation Resilient Shield. It's a mission reward from one of the old green missions. Now, I've said it before and I'm just going to say it again. If you want your ship to look like a green ship, just get a green ship. This is a very, very old shield. It has not aged well at all. So we've got the yellowy green effect there on the impulse engines. Same again for the nacelles. A bit of a pale dark green there round about the top of the nacelle there. But the rest of it is just this shading that, compared to newer shields, it just does not look good. Next up is the Jem'Hadar Resilient Shield. So for non-Jem'Hadar characters, this is a mission reward from one of the old Dominion missions. It's a purple and grey Vanity Shield, and if you start as a Jem'Hadar, it is the shield on your first ship. So with the purple and white deflector here, purple there on the impulse engines, the darker purple effect there in the back of the nacelle. Purple in the nacelle colour itself, and then the shaded areas are this lilac-y purple colour. Although it's an old shield, this is one of the shields that does work very well on quite a lot of ships. I certainly prefer it over the Gamma Vanity Shield, which is that metallic purple one we looked at earlier. And the last shield in this video is the Reman Prototype Covariant Shield, which is a mission reward. It is one of the main story arc missions, and it's generally the first shield in the game that you'd get with a visual aspect to it. And I've got this blue effect here on the deflector, this very light green effect here on the impulse engines. I've got this white panelling effect again on the end of the nacelles. Again, you see that more going down the pylons over the impulse engines there and up the sides of the ship. You can see a bit of it there on the nacelle with this green effect as your main colour. As we rotate through, you get that lovely metallic shine off this shield, and you've got your mixtures of your browns and reds and greens in there, with more of that lighting effect as you see between the two nacelles and on certain parts of the saucer section. And then it's the same again on the underside there. And that concludes the look at the NX class with the various Vanity Shield visuals. So thank you very much again for watching. Links down below to Casual Sab's YouTube channel for your builds, reviews, Q&A and live streams, plus links to the wiki for information on Star Trek Online, the main STO website for the news, plus my social media, and also my affiliate link for 10% off at Real Merch on your Star Trek model order. I've also started to include a video showing the ship doing a patrol, just so you can see how the ships fly in handle, and then you'll get the visuals of where they fire from and so forth, so there'll be a link in there as well, and of course the chapters. So please do remember to like and subscribe, and I shall catch you all on the next video. Thanks again for watching.